Oh, hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Timbo Took, and this is the joy of painting Middle-earth, a time when we come together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer, and maybe we'll paint a scary one a time or two. That can be quite fun, you know. Now, I may not be the best painter in the Shire, but I do love it so, and I'd love for you to paint right along with me. So if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. All right, and thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Now, you may notice something different today. I've got a new palette. That's right, it's nice and clean and fresh and new. But don't worry, I have the old palette right here that we've used for every episode so far, The Joy of Painting Middle-earth. The one that looks like an orc's helmet. Arrgh. That's right. Now, I just want to take a minute to tell you, this palette, it's made by, a few brothers, great gentlemen, Keith and Kyle, who run New Wave Fine Art Products. That's right. I love that palette I've been using, and I've used many palettes, and that one was my best favorite palette, but I needed a little more room. So the gentlemen at New Wave Fine Art Products, they provided me with this palette. Now, I do recommend it, and I have a link in the description. But I wouldn't recommend it unless old Timbo Took loved the product. And that's right. This is a nice palette. It cleans up easy, and it's contoured to my belly. Look at that. Oh, it rests right there, so it makes it more comfortable. I can eat more pie. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, but, oh yes. Now, let's get to today's painting. I'm going to do something a little different. Of course, we have it tall here, but today is mostly going to be a palette knife painting. But before we do that, we want to get in and put in a sky, and I'll use my 2-inch brush to do that. Oh, I'm just coming into some midnight black here. Oh, and my colors, I have alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, burnt umber, midnight black today, sap green, medium yellow, yellow ochre, and of course titanium white. And that titanium white is trying to run away from me a bit. Oh, I think my paints have gotten too warm. That's right. We're just going to put in, I've already prepared the canvas. I put some of that magic white. Oh, that old Bob Ross, the blue wizard, taught us how to do. So we're going to come in here, and we're just putting in a dark sky. So you can see we've already got that white down there, so that mixes right in with this. There we go. And my canvas is a little dry today because I'm going to be doing palette knife painting. So we just mix that in, make those dark clouds. This is a gloomy nighttime sky. There we go. And as you see, it mixes with that magic white that's already on there, and it just really gives you some different things going on in that sky. There we go. Just bring that down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some titanium white. We want to lighten it up a little bit as we come down. So I'll just put that right here. And then I'll take some of that midnight black and we'll load it on the brush like that. Get that grayish color in there. There we go. And we'll just bring it in just like that. And very quickly, we're dropping in that sky. Now let's just go right to some straight titanium white. Pick that up, and we'll do a little bit lighter clouds in here. And we just mix that in as well. Those are just off in the back, off in the distance. There we are. And we just soften that out. And that quickly, we've dropped in that nighttime sky. That's all there was to it. Now, where are we this week? Oh, we're in the village of Bree. That is right. All right, now we clean our paint in odorless paint thinner, or our brushes in odorless paint thinner. And then we just come to our rubbish bin and we beat the Sauron out of the brush. That's right, we just vanquish that villain. And we have a clean brush. All right, let's go. Let's go. So, what we're doing here is we're putting in the village of Bree. And you know about the village of Bree. That is where the prancing pony is. So we're just going to load up some midnight black, and we're just going to put in some basic shapes of buildings here. So we'll start here. This building comes this way, and maybe it comes down right here. There we go. Just putting in that building. So our hobbits arrive at Bree, after they've had, such a time with the Barrow Wights. That's right, they arrive at Bree, they're looking for Gandalf. There we go. We'll just put in some of those building shapes. Just like that. Of course, we don't normally do buildings that much. You know, I'm more about the trees. And why don't we put some trees in the background? Let's do that. Before we get too far into this, maybe there's some trees that you can see over the top there. We'll just go back into some of that black. I'm probably going to use a lot of black today. And we're just going to put some dark trees back here. Just drop those in. And you see, you just tap those in. Of course, there's not a lot of light. Most of the light that there is back here is coming from the city. Or the village. I talk about it, I say city. Oh, not silly. I say city. That's my Grandpappy Took talking. Oh, you know, sometimes he got into his cups and he might embellish things a little. There we go. Just the appearance of trees in the back. Of course, there were hills and things. There we go. We'll just set that down. Now let's cut in. We'll do some rooftops on this side. And these we'll just put here and come back this way. And I don't normally do these, so this is a bit of an experiment. So if this painting doesn't work out, if it turns out to be just a big mess, you won't even see it. It'll just go on the scrap pile. Oh, that's right. But if you're watching right now, then maybe it did turn out. All right. We're just going to put this in here. There we go. So when, Mr. Frodo, or, Underhill we should call him, when they arrived in Bree, it was late at night. Now, my Grand Gaffer Gamgee, he told me it was a clear night and they came in. They had a few questions from the keeper at the gate, but for the most part, it was just them walking through on a clear night. But then my Grandpappy Took, he liked to embellish. He'd get into his cups and he told me, it was storming and raining and they were bumping into all the big people. It was quite intimidating for them. My Grand Gaffer Gamgee, of course, he expected to see giants and things along the way, but his first sight of the big people. Oh, that gave him a start, and I think he was ready to go back to the Shire at that point. Oh, yes. And we'll just put this another building in here. That's right. And maybe as it just runs down the street, it'll go off back there, and these two, the street will bend around. Now, that looks a bit of a bustling place. Oh, and my Grandpappy Took. Oh, yes. He made it sound like Bree was as big as Gondor. Oh, not even today. It's built up a little more than it was during their time, but not even today is it close to that size. There we go. And they're going to be walking on the road, and that'll come this way. There we go. We just put that in. There we are. And I didn't get a lot of magic white on there. And of course, we're not using a straight edge or anything. We're just kind of eyeballing this. Just putting it in. There we go. Do the same. This might come a little straighter. Maybe this way. Bring this guy down right here. There we are. Now again, I don't usually do these palette knife paintings, but they look a little fun. Something to work on. It's always fun to try something new. That's right. So we just come. Bring that down. And you can see, maybe I should have put a little more. We'll just widen it out that way. So there's our street. There's our lane. That's where our hobbits will be. We'll just make some shapes here. Oh, well, there's a doorway here. And you can see I didn't put that much magic white on today, so these paints don't slide and mix like usual. But that's okay. That is okay. We're just trying something new, that's for sure. We just want there we go. And we put that in, and then we'll come in and we'll do some colors and things. Give a little more detail here. What's going on? Well, we've got our hobbits walking down the street, of course, looking for, the inn at the Prancing Pony. Now, these, well, let's put a little more black in there. These are going to be some timbers, and we want some paint to put on top of there. So we'll just put those dark spots in. There we are. Many of these buildings are framed out with these big heavy timbers. So let's come and we're just going to put some color on these buildings, just a little bit of our titanium white, yellow ochre. We're going for a real light tan color. That might be a little too bright still. Put that in there, mix that all around. There we go. Just this plaster that they use. That's right. And just come and we'll put that in here. That's how these buildings are put together. And you just scrape that right across your canvas. You can see, you can hear it. That's right. You can hear it. There we go. We're going to use a lot of paint today, so if you're going to do one of these, just be prepared. I don't know that I am. I don't know that I have enough paint on my palette for this one. Oh, let's go back. Get that a little bit lighter. And we come here. And I'm grabbing a little bit of that black there and it's getting mixed in. That's okay. Some of these buildings are old and they haven't been cleaned very well. You can do that. You can do that. There we are. Oh, these palette knife paintings, they may not be made for just a simple, done in a simple hour. But we'll try our best. We'll try our best. Just mix in those colors. There we go. There we are. Pull that off the knife. Now, as I said, my grandpappy Took, he said this was raining and all that, and even though my grandgaffer Gamgee, he said, oh, it wasn't raining. It wasn't raining. It was a clear night. I just wanted to paint a gloomy, maybe rainy or wet anyways. We'll paint it like that. So sometimes we can paint the way my grandgaffer Gamgee told the story. Sometimes we'll paint how my grandpappy Took told the story. Oh, now I might speed this up a bit as I block in that color. So let's do some Hobbit speed. Okay, there we go. At Hobbit speed, we just blocked in a lot of that color. So if you're following along, you might need to pause there so you can do all that too. Now, what we've done is we've got, oh, it looks like a very abstract piece. That's right. And we've seen these before, but they're fun to do, so I wanted to try my hand at it. All right, now we have that base down. We've got the shapes blocked out. Let's go start and put in some details. And we've got some visitors to Bree. Oh, you know it. Oh, 4 hobbits. 4 hobbits. So let's just get some black there on our palette knife, and let's do the shape of 4 hobbits walking in Bree. There we go. And they've got their cloaks on. Of course, they didn't have their elven cloaks yet. And they were probably looking a little worse for wear because they had just been trapped by the Barrow-wights. That's right. So they would appear as just children to your eyes. There we go. 4 hobbits and Bree. What business are you on? Oh, our business is our own. That's right. Oh, but there were other visitors in Bree, not so nice as hobbits. And they're walking side by side, these hobbits of ours. Just put in their shape. Now, they had been on quite the adventure already. Quite the adventure already between, Mr. Willow and meeting Tom Bombadil, being trapped by the Barrow-wight, and now they've come to Bree, and they're looking for Gandalf. That's right. Oh, but we know who they meet. They don't meet Gandalf, but they do meet one of the most important members of the party. They meet there in Bree. That's right, you guessed it. Bill the Pony. Oh, you mean Strider? Oh, yes. But Bill the Pony is a very important member of the party. That is right. He is. So we have our 4 hobbits. Oh, headed down Bree. And of course we said it's rainy. So there'll be a bit of a reflection here. Just putting that shape underneath as the reflection. And those reflections will be a little longer. A little longer than our hobbits are tall. And you don't have to worry about the perfect shape of them. There we go. This is fun. This is something a little different than what we usually do. Now let's give that a little bit of a reflective look. Let's just come to some of our titanium white and we'll drag it through. There we go. Putting some of that in at their feet. Walking through these puddles in the middle of the road. There we go. There we go. Just bringing that out. And you might pick up some color on that palette knife and we're just knocking it off and we'll come back and pick up some more white. And that's what we want. Pull this out to make that reflection. And again, you pick up a little, you just come back, get some more white. It'll all mix together. And you see, and it becomes all muddled down there. That's of course because it's a reflection. There we go. And we can drop in some more of that white. Give it that wet, rainy look. There we are. There we are. You see, this is a little different than what we usually do, but it's a lot of fun. That's right, it's a lot of fun. And we'll put some more in these puddles and things. We'll bring them this way. And you can even take some of that gray, as that'll be reflecting the clouds. There we go. Just take that and draw it across. It just mixes in and gives some personality. Gives some personality to it. And there we go. So we've got our 4 hobbits there. Now let's put some wooden beams here. So what we want. Just taking our palette knife and we're putting in some of these strong wooden beams. There we are. Just come down with it. And we'll even use that burnt umber. Make this bottom here woody like that. And then, oh, let's do a doorway. We'll just put that dark wood right in as the door. There we go. Scrape it out and shape it more the way it should go. Now what we want to do is let's just take some of that yellow ochre, that light brown, and we'll just run down these beams here. Giving them that woody look. There we go. And let's put some planks in the door. Just scratching that paint off. That'll give you some planks. And let's make this. Oh, these were some two-story buildings. The hobbits were not used to that. Not used to seeing two-story buildings. Oh, no. No, no. They were not used to that. There we go. And this guy back here. We'll put a door here. And he had some of this wood along here as well. And you have to watch your angles on these buildings. You have to make sure your lines run the way your eye would run with it. Put him right here. Right there. There we go. Let's put in some of those over here. There we are. Now, paintings of nature, of trees and mountains and things, those are already a little abstract because you don't have the straight lines that, people like to make. People like to make a world of straight lines. But that's why we like nature. And doing an abstract painting of a town like this, it's a way of not having to make exactly straight lines. That's right, we're just giving the impression of the city. There we go. And you know there's other artists who could do a great job on these city paintings and these towns and things, but we like just to have fun here. That's right, we just like having fun. Give a little separation between that first and that second floor. Oh, those hobbits don't like it up there. In fact, the prancing pony, while it was 2 stories on the front, it was built into the side of a hill. So on the back, the 2nd-story windows were at ground level, so the hobbits would feel more comfortable like that. That's right. We'll put this guy right there. Bring him across like that. Maybe we'll give him a lighter door. Oh, that lighter door doesn't show up very well on the lighter building. Oh, let's just go back. Trying to be a little different, but that's okay. That'll be our door there. And make sure we don't mess up our hobbits there. Now, they were a little worried when they got to the prancing pony. But they heard music coming from the inside. Oh, and anywhere that had the music like that couldn't have been so bad. That's right. That's right. Put that here. There we are. Now let's do some windows and things. There we go. Oh, maybe we'll... That looks a little odd when it doesn't have the separation. There we are. Put this up here. There we go. Right under that eave. Now we'll put some windows up here. Oh, let's switch our palette knives. Let's switch our palette knives for that. There we go. I'm going to come to this other palette knife now. There we go. And this will be a dark window here. Another one on this side. now we go back to that other palette knife. Gonna wipe it off. We're gonna go to our titanium white here. There we go. And we'll just do some window panes there. Just have to go back and reload that. We'll be picking up some of the color. There we are. Maybe our windows down here, there's some light in there. See if we can't make up a good orange light. Oh, that might be a little too red. We don't want it to look like it's on fire. No. Call out the fire brigade. There we go. There's a good orange. We want to get it mixed together. There we go. Now we'll see if we can do this without making it look like it's on fire. And maybe it should be a bit more yellow. I think so. Let's just come to our yellow and let's still had some of that alizarin crimson on there. Okay, that gives it a little bit of an orangish hue, but it's still pretty yellow. And inside, that still matches the wall pretty well, so we're just going to have to go a little more just straight yellow than I probably would want to do, but we're just trying to get it. There we go. We'll do that one. We'll do that one. Okay. Now we can come down and maybe there's a bit of reflection from those windows. We'll just put that down there. Using up some of that orange. Using up some of that orange we made. Just put it in like that. There we go. And make sure you get that angle right. You want to still follow that same angle. Now we're getting a little crazy down there. Now we're getting a little crazy. All right, there we are. And let's just give a window pane here. Maybe. If my hand were steady, and I could get the right length on it. Just do that. Then outline the window itself. There we go. Maybe give that door a bit of a frame. Put some just scratch that off to make that some planks. There we are. Maybe not so stark. There we go. There we are. And then you can do the same. Just give some shape to it. Maybe do a windowsill on the bottom. Pick some of that up. Just put it there. All right. Let's just take some white. Just break this up some. There we are. And get a little bit of a blue, gray. Darken this up a bit. There we go. And maybe, or maybe that's just a shadow. As I said, this is just an experiment. Just an experiment. There we go. This building will be a bit darker. That's what we'll do. We'll just make this one a bit darker. And just put in some windows up here. There we are. Wipe off our palette knife. Oh, and maybe we do some of those warm windows over here. There we go. These houses with the lights on look a little more inviting. A little more inviting than some of the other ones. There we go. And let's do a little reflection of them. Oh, I got some red in there. That's okay. That's okay. Just bring that down. There we are. Now let's just put some panes across those. Then maybe another window or two up here. There we are. Now this is a place where the hobbits, they didn't go very often, especially at that time. And you can see it. It's not as warm and as inviting place as, say, the Green Dragon. Oh, yes. That's a great pub there. All right, and I think that should just about do it for this. We'll just make these shadows, these reflections a little darker maybe. I think we might have softened those out a little too much. Softened them out a little too much. There we go. There we are. Now, we'll get back to painting trees and mountains and things. I just thought that would be a fun little experiment to do. And you can play around. There's all sorts of things that you can keep doing. You can just put in some more. You just keep playing around with that. It's a little messy, but that's called abstract. Well, we may come in and clean that up a bit after. But that was just a fun one, just to see something new, something different. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I appreciate you being here. Goodbye, and God bless.